Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night, where tonight we're coming to you from Brands Hatch. Oh, Alex hasn't updated stuff again. He's done it again. We'll fix that in a minute. We're coming to you from Donington for round 2 of season 31 of Sunday Night Lights. That should fix it, hopefully. Donington, there we go. Round 2 Sunday Night Lights. Got a 54 odd 100 strength of field. It's pretty massive. The guys have been doing fantastically this week around here, Corey. Should be a massive night of racing as quali's just about to get underway.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. A 54-13 to kick off round number 2 here from Donington. Some say that this track is the heart of British racing, and it's not hard to see it with how much history is steeped in this track. And it was an exciting warm-up race too. The Japanese contingent were back, and they were back in a dominating force, taking out all of the top 3, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Japanese guys have been fairly strong here this week. But, oh my goodness, this last week's race winner, Tim Hendrickson, will chuck his name up on it. Take 2, Timmy. There you go for Team Torpedo. He's out having a go. The tyre warming techniques are yet to be quite as refined as they used to be in the old cars, but they're getting the hang of it anyway. Sam Devanti is car number 2, the Cowboy, doing plenty of laps here this week. Plenty of miles in the Speedy Snails, Formula Ford. Naoya Nagai, returning champion of seasons gone by. He's out there in car number 3. He is amongst some of the best at quali going around, but he's got some competitors in that front, just mainly from his own countrymen in the Japanese drivers. Dario Fattini for FPM Oval Martine. Car number 4 out there tonight, returning once again. Multiple podiums in the old Skippies before we moved over to the 4s. Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing. He's car number 5 out there tonight, leading ANZ driver. Well, second only, I should say, to Sam Devanti, who's car number 2. Takumi Yamato for Nagai Racing School. He's the second of the Japanese drivers here tonight. He's car number 6. Car number 7, another one of the Japanese drivers, Hikaru Sasaki. One to watch out there. Very fast in both quali and in race trim. Car number 8, doing a bit of a loop-de-loop for Team Baracus. Alex Steenbroeken. He's getting back on track, trying to get his quali back underway, although he's just pulling up. Hiroki Kokobu, one of the podium getters in last week's opening foray into the Formula 4s for Alpine Racing with NRS. He is another one to watch, both in quali but also in terms of racecraft. He's pretty good out there once the green flag drops. Luke Whitten for Team Milo. Car number 10 out there tonight, and again had some good pace and some good racing, leading the way for Team Milo, Corey.
That's right, Alex. Coming up as car number 11 is Alexis Tapia Vico from Iberia. It's great to see Vico back out there again. And then we have a strong Australian contingent, starting off with Vasco Swarovski, car number 12 here tonight. We usually see him in lucky number 13, but car number 12, right behind him is the wildlife warrior himself, Ryan Chenoweth, taking up the lucky 13 moniker here tonight. And behind Ryan is Donald Sabinow from Team Milo. We haven't seen Donald out there for a while. It's great to see Donald having a crack. And Darren Tune as car number 15, also representing AusNZ. It's great to see him out there. And then we have a second Kokobu out there with Kazuma Kokobu from Japan. So the Kokobu brothers out there in force tonight, Alex, with Nick Carroll, a S5000 driver just recently signed with Gary Rogers Motorsports in car number 17 for AusNZ. Wrapping up the field is Mark Van Dalen from UK&I as car number 18, Alex.
Absolutely, Corey. Sasaki said leading the Japanese contingent after lap 1, a 12 dead for the opening lap. The guys will duck into the 11s, no doubt, as they round out qualifying. Kokobu, the senior, I guess, I don't know which one's older of the two brothers. He's crossing now for his second lap, and he's dropped down what's he dropped? An 11.9. Sasaki's getting close. What's he got for us? He has, oh no, he's done a, Yamato's done an 11.8 to grab pole. Devanti has dropped on the second row with an 11.9. Plenty of sub 12, 1 minute 12 laps coming in as the guys are starting to round out. I don't know that we got too many left. Corey Kokobu, the second. He's up there in fifth. And I think that's almost everyone. Tune going up to 14th. He's, of course, from Aussie Car fame. Mark Van Dalen, car number 18. He's the last one out there to settle lap by the looks, Corey.
We also had Steenbruggen, who's just crossed the line, but he was only good enough for 17th. I think he had some troubles on his opening lap. As we go and check out Darlin now, as he has just come out of McLean's. He's going up the hill to Coppice. And you see the attitude of these cars, no aero whatsoever besides what is on the physical body of the car itself. As he comes down what is the final straight, heading into the final little chicane here. You turn left, you take the GP version of the track, you go right, and it's the National. Oh, look at the way that thing gets loose coming out of the corner. That's what happens when you take too much curb there, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Van Dalen crossing the line. Doesn't look as though he's moved up. He's full 1.8 seconds off the mark in terms of quali here tonight. And the Japanese drivers, look at the little flags there up on the timing tree. One lone cowboy separating the land of the rising sun. Amazing stuff from the Japanese guys. They've worked hard. They've obviously got together and figured this thing out because they're all up the front. And what do you reckon, Corey? Could be a sign of what this season's shaping up to look like, at least in the early stages.
It very well could, Alex, but there's also some big breaking news here. Both Frattini and Hendrickson have bailed on their second lap. So Frattini in P9 and Hendrickson, our number one car, starting all the way down in 12th with only one lap in the books.
Well, and how's that too? Frattini bailed. His first lap was a 12 flat, equal of anyone out there. And, you know, he's finished with a 12 flat, and it's left him just behind Nick Carroll with what looks to be almost an identical time. He'd have to go to the third digit according to my telemetry, and he wouldn't be able to separate them otherwise. But they're down in 8th and 9th respectively as quali comes to a close. We might grab our grid for tonight's big one here at Donington. Takumi Yamato from Nagai Racing School dobs it on pole with an 11.8. Just behind him, some 6.100s, 62.100s is Hiroki Kokobu from Japan, both associated with the Nagai Racing School. Sam Devanti for Speedy Snails, the first ANZ driver, has dropped it on the second row, splitting all those Japanese drivers up front. Hikaru Sasaki from Japan there, about a 10th off pole, starts alongside Devanti on the second row of the grid in 4th. Naoya Nagai, the man who started it all, he starts out of 5th tonight. 6th off the grid will be Kazuma Kokobu for Kaz Piro Racing with Alpine. Luke Whitten starts out of 7th here tonight. Nick Carroll for ANZ out of 8th. Starting from 9th tonight will be Dario Ficini for FPM Ovaltine. Alexis Vico from Iberia out of 10th. 11th off the grid tonight will be Vasco Sorosky for Team Clowns. Hendrickson starts out of 12th for Team Torpedo. 13th tonight as I go over the page. Off the grid will be Ryan Chenoweth ahead of Jaron Tune, starting from 14th. Brett McBurney from McFlabby Racing out of 15th. Donald Sabanal out of 16th. Steenbruggen and Van Dalen round out your field. As the red lights start to come on, we have 5 red lights. Green lights, green flag waved vigorously by Fred the flag marshal as the drivers come down into the first corner at Red Gate. What have they got for us? Side by side aplenty. They seem to have got it sorted, and we're away, Corey.
As they start coming down the hill, turn 2 into the Craner curbs, and still side by side is Carroll and Whitten. It looks like Carroll got the better of that one as they head into the old hairpin turn number 4. This is one of the areas where you have to watch out. It looks like everyone making it through thus far, and it should be an exciting little race as we got a little bit of Milo versus Ovaltine already, Alex, in the form of Whitten and Frattini.
Yeah, it's all going on early as the drivers head up towards Coppice for the first time. Everyone seems to have made it through. There's a bit of line astern. There was a bit of 2x2 for a little while. but it's all fair at the moment. All line astern. Plenty of action here in the big one so far. Yamato leading them away with almost a smidge of a gap as they all need to get it sorted into the braking zone. As to hear those little Formula Ford engines rev their life out of them going through the final chicane there, but they seem to have all got it sorted. Lap one, pretty tidy first lap, Corey.
Yeah, indeed it was, Alex. Not a single person went off the track at all, as I saw a move being made from Nick Carroll. He tried to get the better of Kazuma and just could not quite get around him. Kazuma maintains his 6th position. And another little battle here between Vico and Hendrickson starting to form as well into the old hairpin. These guys are going to be pushing out. Oh, look at how many people go off the track at the old hairpin. As I said, Alex, it's one of those spots where it's so easy to just push the envelope a little bit too hard and you end up off the track.
Yeah, it looks like Henderson got it done in the end up the hill as Vico ran wide out of the old hairpin. As they run up to Coppice this time round, Hendrickson gets the job done. Meanwhile, up front, we've got Yamato leading Kokubu, leading Devantia, Sasaki, Nagai, Kokubu, the second, Kazuma, Kokubu, rounds out your top 6, 5 of which are Japanese drivers showing dominance here tonight and this week, actually, flag to flag, typically, as they're very controlled up front, very fast, and looking to dominate this one, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And it was the same thing in the warm-up race as well. The Japanese contingent held the top 4 positions for the longest time until one small mistake led to one of them dropping down through the pack. But by then, the top 3 had a big enough gap where it didn't really matter too terribly much as we continue on down into the old hairpin. Yamato still in the lead of this race, but you can see Devantia there back in 3rd. He's right up on the table of Hiroki, and he'll be looking to try and make a move here shortly, I would imagine.
Potentially, but the other thing they could be doing here is just setting themselves up for the long game. They've got about 7/10, and the draft doesn't bring the trailing pack into the race as much as the skill of the drivers involved. But Sasaki, who had really bad luck last week at Brands Hatch, was setting lap after lap, purple after purple. This time, he's got his work cut out for him as Kokubu shows the nose on Yamato, as much in defence from Devantia behind as it was in attack. Of course, the final chicane, one of the primary passing opportunities. Although Hendrickson pulls off to the left, he's picked up one of the dreaded slowdowns by the look. He'll be dropping like a stone as Swarovski gets around, and Chenoweth looks to go with him. Hendrickson dropping behind so many. McBurney now side by side with the flailing Dutchman. He's not flying so much this week as flailing. He flew high last week, taking out the first ever Formula Ford race on a Sunday night. This week, the dreaded slowdowns got him, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And he's all the way back down in 13th now, which is definitely not where he wants to be. But we go back up to the front of the pack now, back with Takumi Yamato leading this race. And Takumi is definitely looking very comfortable out there. And the gap that was once there between Devantia and Sasaki has closed down to just about nothing. And once again, we just have a giant pocket of skippies. Not skippies, Formula Fords. This is going to take a while for me to readjust. As this time, Hiroki looks to make the move going into the final chicane, and he's going to make it done before they hit that first apex, Alex. That is how you do it smoothly.
Oh, Devantia looking to take advantage. He looked to move left to go the outside. He looks to move right. Will he go through the middle? Will they go 3 wide through there? The move, and look at them all lining up to have a crack. 2 by 2, it was single file for the first 4 laps. Then the move was made and the cascade, look at them all streaming down the hill towards the old hairpin. They're still too wide in places. Everyone knowing the key to this moment is just Carroll now poking it up the inside, looking to move forward. He's up 2 positions. Devantia now leading the race out of all of that. Getting it done there. He's now leading a squadron of 4 Japanese behind him as the ANZ driver, the Cowboy, leads him away on the mid-stages, lap 5, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. This is a big win for Devantia already. He showed a lot of pace in the warm-up race, but unfortunately on the last lap had an incident going through that final chicane. As you see in the back there, Sasaki just pulling out a little bit just to break the draft a little bit. Not that there is much draft in these cars. He doesn't want to get attacked, but let's see what happens this time. They come down the front straight, and you can see a little bit of fanning going on, but it's still barely single file at the moment. And I also heard on the radio that maybe there is a certain clown that's not very happy with the Team Torpedo driver, Alex.
Yeah, let's go take a look. Yeah, so, oh, big bit of, look, it looked like there was a bit of contact there. It looked like the netcode didn't help either. Side by side through that section of the track is difficult. It can be done, but when one's in the Netherlands and one's in Sydney, makes it a lot tougher, unfortunately, and these things do occur. But for now, Devantia leads from that squadron of Japanese Formula Fords as they go through Coppice on the tail end of lap 6. A fascinating series of events. They were line astern for 4 laps. One move gets made into the hairpin, and suddenly it all opens up, and there was a flurry of activity before it settles back down into the mid stages of this one, where the guys will be looking to take advantage of any mistakes, move forward where they can, and ultimately push for their place on the podium, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And there's still a lot of race to go. Still 12.5 minutes left for these guys to try and make the moves to move up. As I saw just in the background there, it looked like one of the drivers in the blue and yellow car, I'm not sure who it was, it might be Nick Carroll, was trying to make some moves going to turn 1 on the guy, but just couldn't quite get it done. In fact, it was Kokobu, Kazuma, trying to get the move on Nick. Couldn't quite get it done. Nick went defensive, and so did Nagai. So he stays all the way back in 7th. It's going to be so hard for these guys back here in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th to try and make any moves to get forward, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting the fastest lap last time round was Luke Whitten in P8 on nearly the end of this train. The end of the train is, of course, Oval Mateen's Dario Frattini. He's got a lot of work to do for him to move forward out of that one. Meanwhile, it is Yamato showing the nose on Devantia. He's not there for the move, though, and pulls back into line, leading his compatriots of Sasaki, Nagai, and Kokobu in order through the final chicane. So we've got a front pack of 9. Vico then leading the secondary pack with Hendrickson right in his tail. Chenoweth, McBurney, Steenbrook and Tune all in this pack, which is only separated now, by about 2 seconds. So if any of these guys up front decide to get a little bit jiggy with it, start to try and push forward, those guys behind will be straight on top of them, albeit with plenty of work to do to move forward, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. As we saw when the previous move for the lead was made, that, once one move starts getting made, you'll see a whole lot more, as Nick Carroll in the background tried to go for a move on the guy and accidentally shoved him off the track. You can see Carroll there redressing that a little bit as he's starting to hold up some of these guys behind him. But it looked like he was going to try and redress and let Nagai-san back through. But he's continuing to race here. Side by side he goes with Kazuma Kokobu. And into the final chicane. He's going to hold on to the position for now. Luke Whitten was also side by side back there with Frattini. And Whitten comes out on top in that situation as well, Alex.
Yeah, Nagai taking advantage of Frattini's slow run through the chicane, looking to move past through into turn 1. Getting it done, but it's side by side in front with Kokobu and Carroll. Kokobu momentarily in front. Carroll looking to make the inside running, ultimately down at the old hairpin. Kokobu will run wide there, a little bit of netcode. Carroll's gone. Whitten manages to survive, but Carroll's race is over. And let's see, Whitten hangs on. I do want to go back and see if I can't find the Nagai incident with Carroll from the previous point. Carroll got a little bit loose and pushed out into Nagai, and that was what set it all off. Let's go back to live pictures now. Up front, we have a breakaway group of 4. Yamato has now taken the lead. Devantia is riding behind him with Kokobu and Sasaki. 2 to watch for mine here. I'm going to try, while you call it, Corey, to go back and find that overtake for the lead.
Well, Yamato's still in the lead right now. Devantia pulling to the left, looking to try and make a move around the outside, going into turn one. Side by side, we are going to go as we head into the braking zone. Devantia brakes very deep, and it looks like he's got the move made around the outside, and he does. It's the first time I've seen an outside move into turn one around here work in a Formula Ford, and Sam Devantia made that one look super easy. So now down into the old hairpin we go. What does Yamato have in answer to what Devantia just did to him, Alex?
Yeah, beautiful move by Devantia. I found the old the move where Yamato got by, but I think it was just superseded by that spectacular move by Devantia. The Cowboy getting it done around the outside of turn one. Mark Van Dalen, I believe on debut, has just had a moment. Looks like he's outbraked himself into turn one, all on his own. And, he's just clipped the inside of that curb and around she goes. Unfortunately, that is a common occurrence here, losing the rear end in turn one as the leading pack now, led by the Cowboy. Sam Devantia comes through the final chicane where start of lap 11 as they cross the line this time round. Corey, do you have any early wagers on who's going to take this one out? Oh, hang on, hold the phone. 3 wide. They're going into turn one in the middle pack there. Looks like Frattini's going to get side by side with the second. Oh, the contact. It's all happened there, and some will get through, some will not. That was a big one, Corey.
Yeah, indeed that was, Alex. And the big beneficiary of that was Brett McBurney, who is right up there in this battle now as contact is made between McBurney and Steenbruggen. But Hendrickson somehow coming out of that as P7 as Steenbruggen goes off the track at the old hairpin. It's still kicking off here as the battle is still continuing for McBurney. Side by side with Chenoweth he goes, and Chenoweth takes that position really clean and easy into McLean's, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go see if I can't pick up what happened at turn one. This was it. They came in. It looked like Frattini and Kokobu made contact at the start there. Then it's all started happening, all started unwinding there. And I'm trying to find Nagai, who's just driven through the lot of it and come out the other side best of all, with a lot of Formula Fords strewn out behind him. Meanwhile, up front, Devantia still leading the way from that slightly diminished squadron of Japanese drivers, with Yamato, Kokobu and Sasaki behind. Vico now up 5 positions, and we see a battle of more familiar names between Hendrickson and Nagai as they come down towards the old hairpin this time round, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And this little battle is going to be one that will rage on for a while, because both drivers are very tenacious. I mean, we remember Nagai 2.0, such a great driver out on track, and Hendrickson just always on peak performance mode, as they are still languishing down in 6th and 7th, though. I say languishing. Hendrickson did not have a great qualifying, and he is up 6 positions from where he started. He's actually tied with Steenbruggen, who is up 6 as well from where he started, even with that little bit of mistake that put him out onto the outside of the old hairpin. So there's a lot of movers and shakers in this race, Alice. We didn't think that we'd see this much overtaking this early into the Formula Ford season, but these guys are definitely showing us that these cars are a lot racier than we once thought they were.
Yeah, as the guys get their legs under them, race by race, we're starting to see a lot more action in these cars. But the cool heads up front, Devantia, Yamato, Kokobu and Sasaki, they are working hard to establish themselves. They've got a nice big lead that they've built up. They've got a 5.5 second lead. The challenge from here is how they're going to set up the overtake. And the deeper you go in this 4-car pack, the more you've got to do to move forward, the more risks you got to take as the laps count down, which leads to additional risk of it all coming unstuck, and the action taking place ahead of us will determine who will take out this second race in our journey in the Formula Ford, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And we should have about 4 laps left to run in this race when they get to the start-finish line, if my calculations are correct. Because there's about 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the timer here. So these guys are really going to have to start figuring out where they're going to try and make the moves. And speaking of trying to make moves, here comes Kokobu, Hiroki that is, trying to make the move for second on Yamato. He's going to make that move clean and clear. He did push Yamato out a little bit wide there, and Sasaki trying to take the advantage up the inside. It looks like he's going to, as Yamato fell from second all the way down to P4, Alex.
100% beautiful advantage taken there by Sasaki. Kokobu's my pick to go up against the Cowboy in the battle, in the run to the line. Sasaki is tough to beat as well. I think in terms of the edge in aggression, it goes to Kokobu. All four of these guys have got immense talent and skill, but I think Kokobu may push the point. Devantia had a great race with Sam earlier today. He did fantastically well. We had great side-by-side action, proving that these cars are almost a match for the Skippy in terms of the sensational racing that they can put on. And as I said, I think as the guys get their legs under them more and more, we may even see that surpass as the quick, agile, lateral movement of these cars may play into the hands of some of the top drivers in the world, Corey.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Alex. And it's all about familiarization, as you said. And it's also track familiarization as well, because as well as just trying to learn the new car and how it's going to act, it's all about learning how it's going to act on the different asphalt surfaces that some of the tracks provide. And it's also the rise and the fall of the tracks, the camber in the corners as well. It all plays a part in how these guys are going to race and react. And it's all going to just add a little bit of extra notes into everyone's playbooks for the next time they hit the track. But Sam Devantia still leading the way right now, up 2 positions from where he started. And he's just looking comfortable right there right now in front of Kokobu. Kokobu, we know, is a tenacious driver, and he's going to try to go for a move. But Sam Devantia goes defensive on the final straight as they head towards the old hairpin.
Yeah, we're riding on board with Sasaki at the moment. We can see the action unfolding in front of us. They get it sorted. Devantia's defensive line enough to sway Kokobu that time round. As they cross the line now, there are just the 2 laps remaining. 17 laps is what we'll see. Devantia taking the defensive line. Kokobu trying to emulate the Cowboys' move from earlier in the night. Devantia clipping the inside curb, not losing the rear as we saw earlier from Van Dalen. Side by side, this is the time where it all starts coming and be put on the table. All the chips are out. Oh, beautiful line there from Devantia. Left just enough room for Kokobu, who would understeer out of the latter part of the S's downhill, as you would expect to do. Sasaki now moves up on his countryman, saying he wants a part of the action now as he moves up to the inside of McLean's this time round. He looks to get the move done, Willie. Yamato now looking to go. The Japanese drivers are fighting amongst themselves, giving the Cowboy a chance to get away. Sasaki gets it done through Coppice. Side by side, he keeps it tight. Does he keep it tight enough to get the defensive line into the hairpin or into the chicane? He moves over this time to defend. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are running away with it. The Japanese drivers are fighting amongst themselves and the Cowboys getting away, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And this time it should be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. Confirmed by Fred the Flag Marshal, who's vigorously waving his white flag in the air. And Devantia has a 0.4 of a second gap right now over Sasaki. And the Japanese contingent just trying their best to catch up to him now, although they might still be battling amongst themselves a little bit here as we head down into the Kana curves. So many C words in that little sentence, but it looks like Devantia has absolutely got this one won. But now it's going to be the battle to see who's going to finish second, as Sasaki and Kokobu still going to be battling hard here, Alex.
Absolutely. This one closing out. The Cowboy now coming under pressure from behind. Sasaki, Kokobu into Coppice this time round. Devantia will be forced to take the defensive line on the exit. Will they be 2 by 2? He takes it just wide enough, compromises the exit. That'll give Sasaki the run. Kokobu looking to take advantage. They will be side by side. The sheer pace of Sasaki brings him into it. Devantia breaks late. He gets through, and it's a victory to the Cowboy. He gets it done here for round 2 of Sunday Night Lights. There you go. He rode his steel horse all the way to victory. Fantastic drive from the Cowboy here tonight, Corey. He got it done ahead of a diminished squadron of Japanese drivers. Fantastic effort. as the rest of the field crosses the line, including one blown engine in the background.
It was an incredible race there. Devantia put on an absolute show to make sure he maintained that lead. And, he was not up against, just any old average driver. These are some of the best drivers in the world, these Japanese squadron of drivers. And, Devantia just did everything that he needed to do to maintain that lead, take home that win, and bring one home for the Aussies, which it feels like it's been a while since that's happened, Alex.
Mate, stellar drive from the Cowboy. Put all the yards. Mate, he's done some racing here this week. Done a ton of it, and he put it all to great work or great use here tonight, I should say, with a fantastic race win. Congratulations to the Cowboy. Let's go check out. Why isn't that working? I was pressing the button to go to the right thing, and it's just... Anyway, we'll see how we go. Grab a scenic view, and let's grab the results for tonight's round 2 of Sunday Night Lights, season 31 here at Donington. Sam Devanti, the Cowboy for Speedy Snails, returns to the top step of the podium for the first time in a long time. No doubt grinning from ear to ear. Just behind him, leading a trio of Japanese drivers, was Hikaru Sasaki from Japan. As I said, Hiroki Kokubu, the Piro King himself for Alpine Racing with NRS, takes out the third spot, or the third step on the dais. Just behind him was Takumi Yamato from Nagai Racing School and Japan, of course, in fourth. Rounding at top 5 was Alexis Vico from Iberia. Tim Hendrickson managed to climb, 6 positions up from where he started in 12th to finish in 6th. The Wildlife Warrior, similarly, Ryan Chenoweth climbing 6 positions to finish in 7th in a top-notch performance. Darren Tune I was going to say on debut, but I don't think it is actually. Memory serves, he has raced with us before. Darren from ANZ, he's finished in 8th. I have no doubt that's probably his best performance. Brett McBurney from McFlavia Racing, up 6 positions and plenty of action around him. He's finished in 9th. Now, guy, speaking of action, right up in amongst it throughout. Unfortunately, things not going his way. He's finished down in 10th position. Alex Steenbroeken for Team Barakas in the Netherlands, he's finished all the way down in 11th. And the final SNL point scoring position went to Team Milo's Luke Witten in 12th. 13th, his teammate Donald Sabanal for Team Milo. In 14th, FPM Ovalma team, the chocolate drink battle going to the Milo boys tonight with Fatini finishing down in 14th. Nick Carroll, the privateer, or he's Gary Rogers Motorsports in real life, the ANZ driver finishing down 15th on debut. Mark Van Dalen from UK&I also, I want to say on debut, he's down in 16th after that spin in turn 1. Swarovski getting caught out, hip and shouldered through Coppice early on, down in 17th. And Kazuma Kokubu, the second of the Kaz Piro Racing with Alpine, he's down 2 laps, the Japanese driver, down in 18th. Corey, that's how they finished on what was, going to tell you, after last week, bit of a procession at times at the shorter track. This track at Donington seemed to really suit these cars and brought out an amazing array of action.
Yeah, indeed it did, Alex. And I'm just having a quick little look through my results page here. And Hendrickson, Chenoweth, Tune, McBurney, and Steenbruggen all gaining 6 positions in this race. So, it's just incredible the amount of overtaking that actually happened within this race. And, it definitely bodes well for the rest of the season if this is the kind of action we can expect. And I can confirm that Tune has been with us once before. I think Van Dalen has as well. I think I remember calling out his name previously.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I do remember racing with him in the old Aussie Car Championship, and great to see him back here on a Sunday night. Well, that was some spectacular action. We got a couple of drivers waiting for a chat in the green room, including our race winner, Mr. Sam Devanti. The Cowboy's back. Hang on, let me get another go with the theme song. There it is. He's back with us. He rode the steel horse to magnificent effect here tonight, taking out the win. Cowboy, Sam, fantastic effort, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you. This feels a bit weird being surrounded by all these Japanese guys. Don't know what's happened to these guys come out all of a sudden and be quick. I don't know what to say on this. I don't feel nervous of that. Honestly, it felt good. Felt good. Um, just be patient. That's the key word. I think. Be patient.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think qualifying all important. You nailed it there, mate. It's sitting in amongst a cavalcade of Japanese drivers who are obviously putting in the hard yards. They're obviously spending a lot of time on track, getting the fundamentals right and getting it right in quality. It was a stacked field up front. You managed to put it in the middle of it and take advantage, mate. Patience working throughout for you. Having raced and spent some time with the Japanese guys, I know they're patient as well, and really just optimising or capitalising, I should say, on chances as they come up rather than manufacturing them. Was that sort of how it unfolded for you tonight?
I think it did. I mean, I learned something from this afternoon against you earlier, so I just sat behind and then I went for my move at 3 wide and turn one, and I guess it paid off. So
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, that honestly, top drive. Great to see you back in amongst the community with us here on a Sunday night. Great to see you performing so well. I know you put in the yards this week as well. What was it, about 20 races or something?
I've lost count.
Yeah, and plenty of wins in amongst there, and plenty of runs runs under the belt, I suppose you'd call it, which serves you so well here tonight. Putting in very clean laps, so important here with the slowdowns, mate.
Oh yeah, it's important. It's the final chicane. I can't remember the corner of it, but yeah, the final chicane. Take too much and you gotta slow down, and it bites you pretty hard. Put that way, 1.7. So
Yeah, super difficult to get any sort of result without of that. And I know, speaking firsthand, I think 3 out of my 5 races were tainted with slowdowns there early on, and it's very, very difficult to recover. But mate, top of the tree, massive strength of field, massive quality field here tonight, and you've come out on top for Speedy Snail. So congratulations, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
just you guys, obviously, every single week of the broadcast, and just everyone who showed up tonight. It was pretty good field, pretty caliber racing. That's about it. Honestly, and my team's for Speed now, so.
Beautiful. All right, thanks, Sam. Great to see you out there having such great success, mate. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yep, see ya.
There you go, Corey. That was Speedy Snail's driver, Mr. Sam Devantia, who took out a fantastic race here tonight. You still with me, Corey? We might have lost Corey there. All right. Well, we'll put that one down to the great internet and what it does here. But who we do have is third place getter in the second split, Mr. Braden Martin for Locked On iRacing. How'd you go out there tonight? Well, I can tell you got third, mate. How was the racing?
Yeah, it's been better. I don't know. I love the Japanese drivers being back. Normally really enjoy racing with them, but maybe some, less than desirable driving from a couple out there in the second split. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah,
well, looking at the names around you, Otsu's usually okay. Takatsuji is, I'll be honest with you, he's got pace to be mixing it with the big guns in the top split. So, look, it's a tough night out. I can see your teammate there, Nathan Verney, got a good result just behind you in fourth. So, not a bad night out for the Locked On boys.
Yeah, I squandered my second quality lap. I should have probably put it on pole. It was really, honestly, a race I should have won. So yeah, it's just a bit frustrating, but we'll take a third. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
13x isn't all that helpful, though.
That doesn't do much for the safety rating, that's for sure. But still, mate, good night out for the Locked On boys. Third and fourth in the biggest one of the week, which is great to see. Congratulations once again, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just thanks to Nathan for jumping in and having a run around with us. And unfortunately, Wilco couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. And just looking forward to having a crack at the Aussie Car Formula Ford series starting tomorrow night, which should be pretty crazy, 45 cars. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Looking forward to it. Well, congratulations again, mate. Talk to you soon.
Cheers. Have a good one, boys.
There we go. That was Braden Martin. Took our third place in the second split. Don't have any more top split runners to speak to, so it might be a nice early night for us. But I tell you, there's a great mix, and hearing that the Locked On boys are coming back to Sunday nights is fantastic, and it speaks a lot about the car itself and who it is bringing out of the woodwork. We've had the return of all the Japanese guys. We've had the return of some old names and new into the series. Saw some big names in the practice session before this race that I thought might join us as well. So hopefully momentum is building. People can see what we're all about here on a Sunday night, and it'll get bigger and better from there. But given where we're at, and I've lost my partner in crime, and we've got no one else in the room, we might just call it there, folks. But thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, going forward, to check out the race replay. Hang on, we might not do that one. We'll do this one. Check out the race replay over the Top Split YouTube channel, where all 31 seasons of the history of SNL and MNL exist. Of course, we'll be here each and every Sunday night now. It's almost gone back to the old days. Top Split TV on Twitch, where you can watch us live each and every week, where we bring you the best of the best action now in the Formula Fords, the FF 1600. And of course, the Discord community is where you'll find all the latest news, views, and everything else for Sunday Night Lights. But that, folks, will do us. Thank you to everyone who made tonight's racing so spectacular. It is very much appreciated. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. And on behalf of my partner in crime, the absent chaotic one, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar. And until next time, I will say ciao for now.